I started my business, the Lil Lamb, back in 2023. It's only been about 6 months right now, but I really hit the ground running in the new year. So in January 2023, I applied for an LLC and also a sales and tax permit in case I wanted to do like a vendor pop-up somewhere. I just wanted to get all the paperwork out of the way and then also do a lot of work in terms of designing stickers and like determining like what kind of inventory I wanted with the date in mind of launching the store in June. And so I picked my birthday so that it would be really easy to remember when I started the business. I traditionally don't really do hand drawing. I'm actually pretty bad at drawing, and so everything I do is on the computer. I use Illustrator for all my work and just a mouse. So it's really simple, really old school. I know there are tools out there like Procreate that a lot of younger folks use, but that's not what I'm used to, so I've just stuck with Illustrator for now. I have dabbled a little bit in Procreate, trying to make like animations for my other vlogs, but generally, yeah, just keeping to Illustrator and mouse, and that's it. I focused on my branding first, and so after I got the name The Lil Lamb, I started working on those designs. And the background behind The Lil Lamb is that it's actually based off of my little dog. He's almost 10 years old, so he's been with me this whole time. I got him when he was about 8 weeks old, this little apricot colored Yorkie Poodle mix. He was aptly named Lamb Chop at the time, and I never changed it. So the Lil Lamb is all based off of my little fur baby. So one of the first designs I did was of Lamb Chop, so this is what you'll see here. And so this is the face that's also used in the logo as well. You can see that it's very like simple and clean and cute, and that's kind of the aesthetic I wanted to go for. Just really clean shapes, but that still have like a lot of personality to it. So I did some Studio Ghibli characters, and for example, here's No Face. He's a very simple design too, he's kind of like a blob, but I try to do more with the facial expression by like adding bags under his eyes. Another character that developed into a series is called the Korok. Back in early 2023, that's when there was a lot of anticipation over Tears of the Kingdom, which is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. There were like these little characters called Koroks that you can find in the game, so I decided to create a design for each kind of them. So it's a little bit more complicated than Lamb Chop. So there's like a texture here with the wood and like a little texture on the leaf as well. And then the more complicated designs that I worked on, this is also based off of Zelda. I did a Lon Lon Milk. So this one's a little more 3D versus my other stickers. So you can see like there's a side panel here with a milk design too. So that's just kind of how I started with that. Last year I had the opportunity of going to a couple pop-ups, so I got to sell in person at a few markets. During the pandemic I had decided to take on woodworking and I didn't do it very well, but I did have a lot of leftover material to try to make a shelf. Unfortunately, during the second pop-up, it was really windy and it knocked the shelving out, so it broke. So there's actually supposed to be like this little acrylic layer on top of it. But since these all broke off, so I have to fix that and figure out how to improve the shelving in general. In the interim, I like just use rubber bands to try to keep it all together. So luckily the pop-up was able to resume because I had these rubber bands and people didn't seem to think that much of it, so that's great. I also designed some pins, which I got made. So I decided to do a series of 3 for now. I also make the card backing. It is a little thinner than I want. But I already bought the paper, so I didn't want it to go to waste. But yeah, I do print these and manually cut them. So all this work I do in my spare time. I still have a full-time job, so this is purely a side hustle. The full-time job helps fund this small business. So I'm trying to see like what it's like to kind of take off and do this type of work. This is just something that is really different from what I do on the day-to-day. I don't get to illustrate a lot at work, so this is kind of an opportunity to do so and to also like dabble into other creative means like video creation or kind of social media like the content reels and all that stuff, copywriting. So I think I'm learning a lot from this process. It's got some inventory in. There's a lot in here. It's pretty heavy. I have to find some space for it, but I did start also ordering some bullet journals. I did 3 designs for the bullet journals. The first one is the sakura blossom, which is my favorite flower. My favorite drink is a matcha latte, so that's what the second one is themed after. And then finally we have the Make a Wish design, which is supposed to be lamb chop looking up at a shooting star. There's a back pocket. Each book also has 2 bookmarks. This is my first time bullet journaling, so I'm trying to start off with something simple. I wanted to do a cover page to practice drawing. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not great at hand drawing, so this is my practice run. This year is the year of the dragon, which is also my zodiac animal, so I wanted to do a dragon. I based this design off of Haku from Spirited Away, and eventually I do release a sticker of this same design. Later on, as I draw and color in the dragon, I noticed that with Copic markers, they tend to bleed through, which I didn't know. I had to do a little bit of research, and then I had found out that Copic markers, which are alcoholic, tend to bleed through pages really easily. So I'm probably going to not use Copic markers moving forward. Luckily, the bleed wasn't too bad at the end, but yeah. I decided to pick wellness, finance, and growth as my goals for the year, and I'll fill these in later into the boxes. Right below that, I'm going to have some travel goals for the year too. The tedious part of this portion is actually writing out the calendar, so I did the whole year calendar next, right after the goals. This page is called the Lil Lamb. It's going to be a bit open-ended. Here I'm going to write down just my metrics from last year and then try to see like where I can improve upon. So it may be increase my Instagram followers from X to Y, or start a YouTube channel like I am right now. So this is just to help me keep track of my business so I don't fall flat. It is a side hustle. I do still have a full-time job, but I want to make sure that I can still find time to work on this because it is a different skill set that I get to utilize outside my professional job. And I think it's just really fun and it's a really nice creative outlet. Next, I have a future log spread, and this is just all the 12 months. This is where I'm planning to log any future events, so that way when I start creating that month spread in the future, I'll have a list of events already considered. And these could be tentative dates that I need to know of, or they could be permanent dates too of events coming up. And then I break it down by month. So for the month, I just have a little outline of a mini calendar for January. And then right below that, I'm going to have a to-do list of things that I need to get done sometime within that month or sometime within the near future. And then events are just things that I'm recording here, so I just don't forget them, even though I'll have it on my Google Calendar. Next to that, I'm going to start a habit tracker. And so these are just things that I want to be more mindful of this year. I'm usually pretty good at not spending money every day, but I'm just trying to do zero spend of things that are not necessary. So if I spend things on like groceries or things for the business, I'm not going to count that towards zero spend because I need that to survive or to help grow my business. There's some other things here like drink water. I don't drink enough water in my life, so that's something I'm going to try to do more often this year. On the final page, I'm writing something called one line a day, and I'm going to log anything that happens for that particular day, whether it be something really big or something small or something really meaningful. I think it's just really nice to kind of log like really small milestones or just really small events in my life. So that is my bullet journal setup. Very simple, as I mentioned. I didn't want to overwhelm myself, so I'm keeping it really simple with outlining my goals, trying to do milestones, trying to track habits that I want to improve upon, and all those things.